So the 90mm f/18 from Exceed is on the bench again. A third Change Sun 90mm 12-blade fan failed on me. This time, however, it wasn't a catastrophic failure. I was doing my usual routine and I started to hear some vibes in the air, and I'm becoming accustomed to the sound of it going off. And so I immediately powered back, brought it in for an uneventful landing, and took the fan out. And this is what I saw. So the fan is now completely disassembled, but inside the shroud, before I even took it apart, I could see there was contact between the blades and the shroud. Now this light here at this moment seems to highlight maybe just one spot. Oh, you can still see the grooves. You can see the grooves. So the grooves extend all the way around the perimeter. So with that, before I took the fan apart and disassembled it, I checked the run out, right? So with the blades inside, I spun the fan and I checked to see if there was any wobble in the cone. When I had assembled it, I had less than 2 thou, about 1.5 thou run out, and I figured that was good enough given that I was going to balance it thereafter. Well, when I checked it with my gauge, I ended up having 5.5 thou of run out. So that told me the adapter had shifted. My theory on this fan was correct. So here's the adapter here. I've got a sandpaper washer on it. Let's see if I can get this apart one-handed. I think I can. Yeah, so there's the sandpaper washer to prevent any spinning of the rotor on the adapter. And I had tightened those 4 grub screws down to the best of my ability. And I'm strong. I tightened them down like crazy, and they all had blue Loctite on them. And still it shifted. So I also wanted to make sure that it wasn't somehow the motor shaft that bent, because this is the 5mm shaft, and I was thinking, well, I wonder if it's just the shaft isn't strong enough for the weight of the rotor. But note, the shaft is still perfect. No discernible run out. So, what does that tell us? That tells me that what I need to do with the next build, first of all, is get one of the stronger rotors. So I'm going to likely order it from xflight.com. And after I have put the motor in and snugged it down, after I've put the adapter on and got it with minimal run out and snugged it down, I'm going to drop some CA, or maybe blue Loctite, haven't set it yet, in this hole right here. I'm going to drop it in with a CA comes with a very long tipped applicator, so I can push it all the way in, not getting any Loctite or CA on the threads, and then drop in some CA or Loctite, whichever I decide on, to hopefully prevent this from moving on the shaft. And then I will mount the rotor and balance it. A couple of other points of interest. This is the soft rotor, of course, as I mentioned. You can see on this blade here, once it's fully assembled, I find out using tape and the clock method which is the light portion of the rotor, and then I paint that blade with multiple coats of flat black paint. So you can see it on there. That's the flat black paint you can see there. And this would have been about 4 coats of paint to get this particular rotor to balance. And some of the balance issue is directly related to the runout, I'm sure. So you're compensating for runout with a balance job. If you could get 0 runout, you might not need to do any balancing, but that's just a painfully slow process of trial and error to try and get rid of the runout. Anyway, this would be a whole lot of typing, and I just don't feel like it, so I thought I would do a video to feature some of the issues that I came across dissecting that weird noise I heard prior to, I'm sure, a catastrophic failure. Hopefully this is helpful to somebody.